Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path in North Carolina. Last week I taught you guys how to do a very simple single needle right angle weave bracelet. Right angle weave, like I said last week, is one of the hardest things that my students have to learn, and I don't understand it because it's my favorite stitch to do. So this week, I wanted to teach you guys how to take right angle weave another step further, and I want to show you a project. The pendant is actually supposed to be a snowflake that I'm going to teach you, but when I seen it, I thought it was absolutely gorgeous, so I knocked it down a little bit, didn't make it as big as it's supposed to be, and then I made it into a ring. So I'm going to actually be teaching you a ring, but you can make it into a pendant, or I'm also going to do a video hopefully in the next week or two to add on here on how to take the ring, or the pendant I should say, and revise it into a beautiful pair of earrings. So I wanted to teach you this before Christmas because as I make this video, it's less than a month before Christmas 2010. So I wanted to show this to you because this project will make a wonderful gift for someone, and it'll make a relatively inexpensive gift because it's going to take 29 4mm bicone crystals. I've never done this project with any round beads, but I don't see why it would not work to use a round bead. And you're also going to need a size 15 seed bead, as well as one needle with threaded on about 2 yards of fire line. And we're going to be using a 6-pound fire line for today's project. You could probably get by with an 8-pound, but you wouldn't get by with it when you get ready to do the band of your ring. So that's the thing to think about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, it's a very easy, well, you're going to build on right angle weave. I shouldn't say it's going to be easy because it is going to take you a step further. But this will help you learn a little bit more for the next project I'm going to do, which is the double right angle weave. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. To start the bracelet, or to start the pendant, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up a crystal, a seed bead, a crystal, a seed bead, a crystal, and a seed bead. And I'm going to pull this down near the end of my thread, and I'm going to tie my tail and my working thread into a knot so that I will have a circle of beads. Now be careful when you pull that you don't get your seed bead caught in between your knot here that you're fixing to make. Once you have that made, you're going to take your needle and you're going to go right through the crystal that is right next to your knot. We're going to pick up a seed bead, a crystal, a seed bead, a crystal, and a seed bead. And if you look, my thread is coming out this way. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come through that crystal the same way so that when I get done, the thread will be coming out that same exact way. So these are the new beads that I added here. So I'm going to take the needle and come through the seed bead and the crystal to get into position for the next step. So we're going to pick up the same sequence of beads. We're going to do seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. I'm coming out towards myself here, towards the outside. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come right back through just that same crystal, going the same way. And then I need to get into position to add the next circle. So I want to be coming out of this bead up here so that I can do my next circle. So I'm going to go through the seed bead, the crystal and the seed bead, and then I'm going to come through the crystal, going towards the center. I'm going to add our next segment of beads, which is a seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. My thread's coming out towards the center here. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go right through the crystal, going towards the center so that the thread will be coming out the same exact way. And to get into position for the next circle, I want to be coming out here. So I will go through the seed bead and the crystal. I want my first inner circle to have 6 crystals in the center. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got to do one more segment of beads so that I'll have 6. So I'm going to do seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. My thread's coming out towards the outside of this last crystal here. So I'm going to come and I'm going to go through that same bead coming towards the outside. And I want to get into position to start my next step. So I want to be coming out of this crystal over here on the other side. So I've got to go through the seed bead, the crystal, the seed bead, and the crystal. Now the good thing about this is that at this point, if I count, I have my 6 crystals here on the inside. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all that's missing is a seed bead on the inside, and then I'm missing a layer here on the outside. So I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, and my thread is coming out towards the inside. And I'll see if I can zoom in just a little bit so maybe you can see better. My thread is coming out towards the inside, or to the center here of this last crystal that I added. So I'm going to add my seed bead and I'm going to come up through or towards the outside of the first crystal there right next to it. So that when I pull, that next seed bead is in place and my center is complete. But now I have a segment here that I'm missing that I need to add. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead, a crystal, and a seed bead, and I'm coming out of this first crystal here. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come down through or towards the center of that last crystal that I put on, so that now I have a complete little, you call it flower component, snowflake component, whatever you'd like. But to get into position to start the next part of my steps, I'm going to go through the seed bead that I just added in the center, and then up through that first crystal, and then I'm going to come out of the seed bead and the crystal. So I'm just going through a seed bead and a crystal. I'm not going through the last seed bead next to it. So just seed bead, crystal. So now I'm ready to start my next little circle of crystals here for my little snowflake pendant or ring, whichever one you choose it to be. And I'm going to do, just like I've been doing, a crystal or seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. So my thread is coming out of this side of my crystal. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come back through the crystal, just going that same way. And then I'm going to go up through the seed bead and the crystal of my new little triangle here, I should call it. Pick up sequence seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. And if you look, and it's kind of hard to, until you see it and you understand it, adding this little loop here I've actually started another circle just like this circle here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've already got 4 beads. If you look here, I've already got 4 beads for my new circle. So I'm going to my thread's coming out towards the outside of that crystal. So I'm going to go that same way through the crystal there so that I can make my circle. And I want to get into position to go to the next step. So I want to come over to this crystal. So I'll go through the seed bead and the crystal, and then the seed bead and the crystal. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 beads here in the center circle. Remember, we want 6 for the loop. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. And I'm going to take the needle. The thread is coming out towards the center of my little circle. So I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come right back through, going towards the center. So that now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads in the center, exactly like I need. But if you look over here, I'm hanging out and I don't have that little end piece. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead and I'm going to come right through the crystal right next to where I'm coming out at. It's going to be the one that I will be adding my last little loop here to. Actually, I'm going to pull that out because I think I just did that wrong. I did. I'm sorry. I added a seed bead where I wasn't supposed to. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. You just pull that right back out. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, what I should have done was I should have went through the seed bead and the crystal there next to where I'm exiting. And at this point, I'll pick up a seed bead, a crystal, and a seed bead, and I'm coming out of this crystal here. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come right down through the crystal right next to it. So that way now I have another circle off of my first circle. Now the only problem is I've got a gap right here with no seed bead. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead and I'm going to come right up through the crystal right next to where I'm coming out. It would have been the one I just went through to make my little second set here. So now I have that ring completed. So this was the first ring here. I come up here and added the second ring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch around and I'm going to come out of this crystal right here to start the next ring. And if you look, I already have 1, 2,